Hey guys, it's Jen with Concentric Care, Flow and Go with Jen. I'm a certified and licensed athletic trainer and registered yoga teacher. So if you followed me on social media, you'll see that I was talking a lot about hamstring injuries. So they can really be a pain in the butt, quite literally. So I'm going to walk you through a stretch and flow. Shouldn't take you any more than about 20 minutes, depending on how long you stay in the poses. And all you need is something like a block. If you don't have it, a small like couch pillow that you can fold in half, or even a foam roll that you can use. So let's get started, and we're going to be on our back. So on our back, we're going to separate the feet about hip distance apart, and we're going to find pelvic neutral. So what that means is the lower curve in our low back. If we press it downwards into the floor, it'll cause the pelvis to roll. So I'm exaggerating a bit, but once I do that, the hips will rock slightly up and this lower back will flatten. Taking whatever object that we're using, whether it is a pillow, block, or yoga foam roller, we're gonna place that between the knees. Toes are facing forward. We're pressing the low back down into the floor. Squeeze the block, breathe in. And breathe out. Good. You're here on the mat. You're working with me. We're focusing on hamstrings. So let's go. Squeeze the block. Engage the core, pressing downwards into the floor. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift the hips about 3 inches, still squeezing. Allow the lower back to almost look like a hammock or a sling. All right. So we're creating some space in the lower back. And it gives us room here to really engage into the breath. So we're going to take 3 breaths here, really focusing on expansion here in the ribs. So if you'd like to place your hands here on the belly, you can totally do that. But again, looking to make those breaths bigger. All right, so let's go for it. Inhale here. Exhale through the mouth. Good. Maintain the squeeze of the block. Maintain the lift. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Squeeze. Lift, breathe in, and breathe out. Good. Set the hips back down, walk the feet out about 1 inch or 2, and we're going to go one more time. Squeeze the block, press the low back into the floor. We're going to lift the hips, inhale, exhale, hold. Stay here for breath 2. Inhale, exhale, hold here. Good. Inhale one last time. Feel the hamstrings begin to turn on. Inhale. Exhale, begin to lower down. Take the block, foam roller, pillow, whatever you got. Place it off to the side. Hugging your right knee in towards the chest, pointing the toes up towards the sky. Right, so for some of us, we might get plenty of sensation on that right side, and this is appropriate for our body. However, if we are not feeling much going on in the hips, we could begin to extend through our left leg. So I'm going to go ahead and extend. And the heel is going to be resting on the ground. And it might take a moment or 2 to soften through that hip flexor area to allow this stretch to happen. But if you get there and you don't feel like you can commit to it for 3 breaths or so, come back to a bent knee. Wherever you are, the toes are engaged, meaning they're pointing up towards the sky. Each time that you breathe, we'll draw the knee a little bit tighter to the chest. And as you exhale, that extended leg is going to reach away, so towards the bottom edge of the mat. Good. Inhale again. Exhale, reach. Inhale again. Exhale, reach. Good. Take that lengthened leg. We'll draw it back in towards the midline of the body. Place the foot down on towards the floor. Moving the hands to the hamstring. We're going to begin to, we'll call it flossing. Extend through the right leg. Heel will reach up towards the sky. We'll take 4 or 5. And on that last one, let's go ahead and hold. So these top toes are going to reach down towards the face. Low back is pressing down inward into the mat. And we're going to be here for 3 or 4 breaths. And each time, maybe pulling the knee a little bit closer towards the face. Now, for some of us who are built differently or are blessed with more flexibility, you can certainly extend out through that leg. The big thing is we want to maintain that pelvic tilting here. We want to protect the lower back. So for today, I feel like this is appropriate for me, but if it's not enough, go ahead and extend this leg. So one more breath here. Breath it out. Bend through the knee, place the foot down onto the floor. Other side, so we'll gather that left knee up towards the chest, get situated, and then make that decision if we're going to extend that right leg or not. So I am going to go for it. Taking a moment or two to settle in, let the heel rest. Low back is pressing downwards into the floor. Knee is hugging in tightly towards the chest. Breathe it in. Exhale, reaching right heel away. Breathe in and out. Third breath in and out. Let's go ahead and hug that right heel back in towards the body. Change the hands to the hamstring. Let's floss out that left hamstring a little bit. And then once we've gone through 4 or 5 of them, let's hold. So my right foot is firmly planted, or if we're looking for some additional sensation today, we can extend through this right leg. Otherwise, we're going to use that inhale and exhale to lengthen through this extended left leg. If the knee starts to bend, you've gone too far. So we should be able to maintain a relatively straight leg. Toes are flexing down towards the face. We're breathing in and we're breathing out. We're breathing in and we're breathing out. Last one. All right, good stuff. Hug both knees in towards the chest. Little rock side to side. And then we'll tuck the chin in towards the chest. Get a little momentum, so we're going to start rocking and rolling. Take 3 or 4 of these, coming to a comfortable seat. All right, here we are. So we're going to tuck our toes here in table, and I'm just easily sitting the hips back towards the heels. Nothing fancy. A little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, little hip flow. Good, and back towards the center, toes are tucked. Pause for a moment here. Take the biggest breath that you've taken today. Awesome. All right, come on up into table. So when we set up in table, always mindful that our hands, fingers are spread wide, stacking our joints on top of each other. We're maintaining a nice neutral spine, so we're not dropping low or arching up the back. We're finding that nice center. We're going to breathe here. Reach to the crown of the head. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Squeeze the core in. Good. Last one. Breathe it in. And breathe it out. Good. All right, belly's engaged, core is engaged. I'm going to bring my knees a little bit closer together, and I'm going to reach my left heel back. So straight leg here, keeping the hips parallel. Right? Weight evenly distributed through the hands. We're going to lift the heel, lift the leg up a bit higher. We're going to take 2 more breaths here, creating lots of length in the body. So crown of the head reaches forward, foot is reaching back. Good. Last one, breathe in. Breathe out. Bending through the knee, the heel is going to reach up towards the ceiling. So we're keeping that leg lifted. So if we find that we lost a little bit of that height, go ahead and re-engage. Feel the glutes and the hamstrings turn on. Breathe in, hold here. Breathe out, begin to externally rotate, but keep the lift. Okay? Hug that knee in towards the elbow. Reach the heel back where we were, and internally rotate. Awesome. lift, re-engage. Externally rotate, keep that positioning of the knee and the ankle. Draw the knee in towards the elbow. Extend it back, internally rotate. And then let's go ahead and tuck the toes. Placing the knee back down. And I'm going to walk my hands forward. With both toes tucked, I'm going to tuck and lift the knees. Take a breath. Breathe it out. One more inhale. Exhale, lift the right leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Hold here, breathe it in. Exhale, knee to the nose, shift forward into plank. Place the foot down, we'll walk it up into a forward fold. Keep the knees soft. Be kind to your hamstrings. All right, so inhale, top half of the body is super heavy. Knees are not locked out. Head and neck relaxes. Breathe in here. Breathe out, softening through the body. And then taking the hands into the shins or maybe up higher, we're going to press into a flat back. Lost me there, sorry. All right, so we're in our flat back. One more breath in. Breath out, forward fold. Placing the hands, step back into downward facing dog. We'll go ahead and pedal the foot. Bend the right. Bend the left. Bend the right. And bend the left. Go ahead and set both knees down. We've got the opposite side. So checking our alignment here, we'll bring the knees in a little bit closer together. Neutral spine. Draw the belly button in towards the spine so we got our core engaged. Reach the right heel back. So right heel is lifting. Mindful that we're not opening the hip here. So we're lifting and reaching the heel away, creating that length. Breathe in and out. A little more lift here. Breathe in and out. Bending through the right knee. The heel is up towards the sky. If we lose some of the height, go ahead and give that one more subtle lift. Breathe in. Externally rotate. Pause. Draw the knee in towards the elbow. Keep it lifted. Reach it back. Internally rotate. And here we are back at the start. Good. Come on down. Lift again. Take a moment here. Set up in the position. If we lost that height, give it another lift. Breathe. Externally rotate. Exhale. Inhale. Draw the right knee in towards the elbow. Reach it on back. Internally rotate. And then extend through the leg. Good. Place the knee back down, tucking both toes. We're going to set up again for that little mini downward facing dog or that hover. So tuck toes, engage core, lift the knees. Inhale here. Exhale, lift the left leg up towards the sky. Breathe in, looking for height and length, but keeping the hips square to the ground. Good, breathe in here. Breathe out, knee towards the nose, step forward, coming into that forward fold, soft knees. Inhale, press into a flat back. Exhale, forward folding. Inhale, we'll come up about halfway again and sit the hips back as if we're about to sit in a chair. So we're setting up for a chair pose, a variation of chair pose. So my knees are bent and I'm going to reach my fingertips back into airplane. Take a breath in here. Breath out, sit the hips back. One more breath. Exhale. Shift weight to the right foot. Step the left foot back. We're going to come into a crescent lunge. So the arms are still in our airplane. We can now bring them to the hips. Front knee is bending. Begin to soften and bend through the back leg. Check in with the pelvic tilt because pelvic positioning can really play a huge role with hip flexor strains, hamstring strains. So we're going to bend through the back knee and then scoop the tailbone under. You'll feel that hip flexor turn on, that quad area. Hold here, breathe in here and out. Inhale Exhale, strong legs. Good. Inhale. Exhale, straightening through that back leg. We'll bring the arms back into airplane pose. When we get into airplane, that back leg is long, the heel's reaching back. We'll tip forward. Take a breath. Exhale, place both hands on either side of the front foot. So we're in a high lunge. We'll take an inhale. Exhale, shift the hips back. Inhale it forward. Exhale, shift it back. Inhale forward. And exhale, shift it back. Pause here. Walk the hands a little bit closer. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, we'll lower. Come back down to our kneeling lunge. Step back, downward facing dog. Bend the right foot. Bend the left. Bend the right. And bend the left. Pressing through the hands. Lengthening through both legs. The sitting bones are reaching up towards the sky. We'll breathe in here. Breathe out. Soften the knees. Look forward. Step to the front of the mat. We're in our forward fold. Soft knees. Press into the shins or the thighs. Inhale to a long spine. And then exhale. Forward fold. Sit the hips back. Inhale, hands back into our airplane pose. Take a breath here, sit a little bit lower. Shift the weight to our left foot. Breathe big. Exhale, step the right foot back. We're in our crescent lunge, airplane arms. As we bring our torso upright, we can take the hands to the hips and begin to refine and work on the details here in our crescent lunge. So softening through the back knee. Scooping the tailbone under, getting that posterior pelvic tilt. Lift up tall through the crown of the head. Strong legs. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath. Exhale. Reach the heel back, straightening through that strong back leg. Hips are square. We'll float the arms into airplane. And we'll reach crown of the head forward. Good. Breathe in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Place the hands on either side of the front foot. Shift the hips back. Rock it forward. Exhale it back. Inhale it forward. Exhale it back. Bring the hands with you and pause. So here in our wide pyramid, we're pulling the front hip back a little bit. So we're pulling, we're engaged, we feel this hamstring here getting the work done. So breathe in, exhale out, and we'll step that front foot forward, or the back foot to meet the front. We're in our forward fold. Press into the shins, flat back. Exhale, step back into push-up plank. We're in our push-up plank. We're taking a breath. We're exhaling, rounding through the upper back, pressing the hands down into the mat. Breathe out. Inhale. Set the knees down. And then we're going to shift our weight so that we are in a comfortable seat. And I know what you're thinking, oh no, not the sit and reach test. All right, so we're gonna sit up nice and tall, and I'm gonna keep my left leg extended, and I'm gonna hug my right leg into the body. So for me, this is workable, this is doable. If we're truly struggling with the length of our hamstrings, we can sit on a pillow, we can sit up on a block, we can sit on another rolled up yoga mat to lift the hips up higher. So don't ever feel put off by doing yoga or particular stretches because you're not flexible enough. Well, that's the point, is you do yoga in order to breathe and move. So there's always a way. So I'm sitting up nice and tall. I'm just hanging out. Getting tall through the length of my spine, grounding through my sitting bone. So here's what I'm going to do next. This leg that I pulled in towards my body, which is my right, I'm just going to allow the knee to open up to the side. Okay, so my straight leg is just a direct extension of my hip. I'm going to still sit up nice and tall. And I'm going to take my right hand and reach it up. Okay, so there's going to be tons of variety here. Don't focus on what it looks like rather than what it feels like. So you may be here and do this, and you're like, nope, my hamstring is plenty stretching right now. Right? And there may be others who are reaching and they can get here and it's well controlled. There's not a lot of rounding. So do what feels good. All right. So we're reaching and then we're coming slowly across. Let that hand drop wherever it is. This other hand, we're just using it as a prop. Okay. So let's ease here into the pose. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Good, all right. Ease ourselves back out. I'm going to take my left or my right hand back. And now this one is going to reach up towards the sky. I'm going to lift my hips. Get a little bit of opposing motion. Look pretty, whatever. Give it a try. If you're like, no thanks, I get it. All right, so change our legs. So hugging my left knee in towards my body. My right toes are flexed up towards the sky and I'm just sitting up tall and I'm breathing. Creating that connection with the glutes and the sitting bones, downwards into the floor, and the opposition of getting tall and reaching up to the crown of the head. So another breath here, another breath out. There's something to be said about these small movements. It's all about details and refinement. We're used to like these really big movements and big lifts, and sometimes we just need to get simple. All right, so sole of my foot is in towards my right thigh. I'm sitting up nice and tall. And this might be it for me. This might feel plenty of stretch. That's cool. All right. Otherwise, we're reaching our left hand up towards the sky. Okay, so we're going to get really tall. Don't rush it. And then we're going to begin to hinge at the hips. The back is nice and long. And we're going to just see where that hand falls. I'm not looking to grab the toe today. Right? So a little rotation, a little forward flexion, and then my right hand is just merely a prop. So wherever we find ourselves, we're constantly detailing. Okay, we're constantly refining. We're constantly checking in. And what's going on in the body, what's going on in your head. So I'm here and I am stretching. Let's take our time to come up and out of this pose. The cool thing is, if you want to stay longer, you can pause it. But for today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this arm that I had extended. It's now going to come behind me, and what was my post-up arm back here, we're going to reach it up, breathe in, and breathe out, come back in. Really technical yoga pose. This is my reclining pose, right? My beach pose. So we're just going to allow the hips to rock off to the right, rock off to my other right. Good. Come back to the left. And don't overthink it. All we're doing is dropping our knees right to the left, left to the right. Good. Finish up equal amounts on both sides if possible. And then we'll come back to center, and we are going to end how we just started, which is going to be on our back in bridge pose, and we will end in a supine or lying on our back position with our knees knocked together, creating a little teepee, and we'll just hang out and stay as long as you like. So I'm going to head back to set up for bridge. So block is nearby, so if you have it and you really love it, you can do the squeeze. You can certainly place the block underneath the hips, one of my personal favorites. But if you don't have a block, that's okay. It's all right. So I'm going to take mine out. just to be fair. So my feet are going to be pointing forward, pressing my lower back downwards into my mat. I'm going to bend through my elbows, fingers are spread wide and facing in towards each other. Pressing my triceps down into the mat, I'm breathing in, engaging my core, and then I'm lifting the hips up towards the sky. So my sitting bones are reaching towards my heels, and I'm lifting up through the hips. Allow the arms to rest by the sides, palm facing up. We'll take 3 breaths. And we'll exhale, lowering the upper back, mid back, and then last but not least, the low back. Separate the feet close to the outer edges of the mat, let the knees drop in towards each other. And just pause for a moment or two, even if it's for 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Just be okay with stillness and quiet. Thank you for practicing with me today. Check out my other videos here on Flow and Go with Jen. And if you have comments or questions, drop them below.